This is Brock Road on Legendary difficulty. So it turned out that the 1861s were the best buy in the store, and that's what I picked. I'm not getting the 63s, at least not yet. You can see my units are 1750 in size. 1650 is the perfect size. 1750 because I plan on taking some losses. This is how the battle changes. He goes up in all categories, and you'll notice training is back up to 75 to 80 for this battle and on its way to 85. So we have about the same number of guns as well, slightly outnumbered. The thing that I think is interesting, oh, and you saw that I got over 7 to 1 and only lost about 4,000. A couple things that are interesting. The very last, one of your units doesn't arrive, but it's not actually the last unit in Second Corps. It's going to be the first unit in the division, in your last division. And both times I played this on harder difficulty, that was actually a really good cav unit. So that's something to be aware of. So I was going to bring 3 cav units, but only 2 end up coming in. So this battle is very different from every time I've played it before for 2 reasons. One is I'm using a very different strategy. You will notice that I'm passively sitting, just waiting for the enemy to attack, and that's by design, and it works out great. The enemy does attack. I expect this battle to last until 1800 at night, and I had to skip the first part because nothing happened. But boy, at this part do things pick up. So I'm deployed 1st Division, 2nd Division, 3rd, 4th, from right to left. And the other thing that's very different is that the enemy attacks my right flank almost exclusively. I mean, there is some attack against 2nd Division, which is to the left, Union left of what you see. 1st Division is on the right. So there's 7 units over there. And that's 1st Division. 2nd Division is kind of where we are now with the skirmisher units. But almost all of the fighting takes place against 1st Division. And that's never happened before. I expect 2nd and 3rd Division to take most of the hits. But as soon as he finds 1st Division over to the right, he goes crazy. Which is, the other thing that's really interesting is 1st Division is absolutely fine. I mean, 1st Division can take on half of the enemy army and not care. Fighting goes just absolutely fine. I would have liked for him to have spread out his attack and for him to have given, I mean, I have most of my 24-pound howitzers. I have over 200 guns. And I have a whole bunch of 24-pound howitzers on my left, and they're pretty much out of the battle because of the way he attacks. So I would have had a better result if he'd attacked kind of in the center where I'm looking at now, and as you're looking at the map to the right of that, or the Union left. That would have been perfect because there are a whole bunch of 24-pound howitzers there. Also a bunch of 3-star 20-pound Parrots, but he just doesn't attack. Okay, 2nd Corps comes in, and if you've played this battle many times, the trick to it is the enemy is going to come in on the Union left, and you have to have a wall of infantry and artillery and cav on the Union left. So, yeah, I'm focused on the Union right, and I cut out where I just told my units to move forward, but there are 2 divisions and cav units of 2nd Corps, and they're just moving to the Union left. And that's all they're doing. And the enemy's going to have, I think it's 2 infantry and an artillery, maybe more than that, come in on the Confederate right. And then when they come in, I'll fight them. So one of the things I decided to do is I can see his artillery, and that's the first time he's ever placed an artillery unit there. So I tell one of my 20-pound Parrots to move to the right. Really, I should have sent probably, and if I didn't expect him to just keep attacking those 4 units and artillery, 4 infantry and 3 artillery, the way he's doing. But you can actually see infantry moving to the north edge of the map. I mean, he just keeps sending all his troops over there. And at this point, I don't know it, but he's going to send almost his entire army over there over the course of this battle. Very unusual. That has never happened before. So really, I should have probably sent, if I'd known that, I would have probably sent an infantry, because I have infantry that didn't do very much. Infantry, certainly another 24-pound howitzer could have been spared. Probably another 20-pound Parrott. You know, I could have moved some stuff. So 2nd Division, where the commander is right now, is 2nd Division. So I see troops moving in there. That's where I expect him to attack. And then 3rd Division is to the Union left of that, just south of the commander. I expect him to make big attacks in there. Really doesn't happen. But that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting the battle to get kicked off. I'm actually holding off on where I'm going to send my cav. My cav is behind the commander right now. I want to send it to the Union left and get behind the enemy army that way, but I'm going to send it to the right as reinforcements as he keeps attacking. So yeah, 2nd Corps is coming up. Takes him a while to get in place, but we have time. And again, I think this battle is going to go till 1800 at night. It's only 700 hours, 7 a.m. And I think we're going to go to 6 p.m. or something. But the way the enemy attacks, like right now, this is going to be over in about 2 hours in game, maybe 3. And remember, the enemy comes in with about 30,000. Not... What did I do with the number? Yeah, is it 30 or 40,000? I can't remember. But he comes in with also 200 guns. And yeah, this is... I think this is going to lighten up on the Union right, and he's going to shift his forces against the center, against 2nd Division and 3rd, and he just keeps throwing units against 1st Division. So yeah, it's really quite a shock. And I'm thinking at this point, I wish I had another infantry unit. Now, 1st Division has 7 units in it because it's oversized, and I'm really glad it's oversized. It could not have held if I'd had just a regular-sized division over there. So all my other divisions are 3 infantry and 3 artillery, and that is a perfect configuration for this battle. Lots of artillery here works really well on Legendary. He's going to attack. He's going to be aggressive. He doesn't care about terrain very much. So yeah, this is all going very well. So yeah, just looked at the numbers, and yeah, we both come in with about 40,000 men and just over 200 guns, and he's going to lose 32,000. We get them all. I mean, that does happen. So, okay, he's attacking where I expect him to attack. Unfortunately, he attacks before I get my 24-pound howitzers up. I have no real interest in advancing on the left until the artillery gets up, but he's giving me a really nice target. Yeah, you'll notice that his units are starting to stack up on the Union right, and yeah, he's just reinforcing his attack over there. I now have 2 20-pound Parrots, and they start to pick apart his artillery. I make sure my 20-pound Parrots on my left can hit his artillery that I can see on the left. And I think I'm going to have plenty of time still at this point. I don't really appreciate how bloody this is going to be. Yeah, this is what I want to see. I want to see him. He's actually in 2nd and 3rd Division territory right now. And I give everybody orders. And this is perfect. This is what I want to see. Right here in the center. And in the north, I have 3 really good infantry units. But, you know, he's really stacking up a lot of units over there. So I send my cav over to the right. I really wanted to send them to the left, but I figured I'm going to need them to the right, and it turns out to be a really good idea. Yeah, that's perfect in 3rd Division. 4th Division, however, is doing absolutely nothing, and I'm not happy with that. Yeah, his units on his right completely collapse, so I just go ahead and send 2nd Corps forward. 2nd Corps will have lots of infantry and artillery and be able to just roll right over top of this guy. So, yeah, he attacks and gets into my line with a unit, but that guy takes a ton of losses. And, yeah, the line is stabilized. However, he's about to make an attack. As you're looking at the position, he's got a ton of infantry. Look how many units he has. And he's about to attack toward my 3 artillery units, and there's just a detached skirmisher there. So I have everybody shift toward where the attack is, and this is a really good attack. This is very dangerous, because those artillery units are not very well defended, and he has 3 units now charging in. So, yeah, thank heavens I have the cav units there to pitch in. So now he has 4 units who have charged, trying to get into melee. And I finally just moved my commander over there to get the extra 10% bonus. I am dismounting my cav, and we're gonna try to get these guys to rout out of here. And the good news is, if I can make them rout back into the water, we can really inflict a lot of damage on these guys. So they're taking canister, and the cav units are going to always do a really good job against infantry. So I'm shifting fire to units that aren't flashing white, and 2 of them rout right away, and the line is fairly stabilized. He has CS Richmonds, and they're doing a very good job. In the center, there never was much of a, there never was much danger. We were just harvesting kills. So it's only 8 o'clock, and this has been really bloody. The rate that the killing is taking place is actually pretty shocking. I'm having my 20-pound Parrots fire exploding shell at the enemy infantry because he just has a bunch of units, and I want to do damage to these guys. I'm really concerned about his 4 units stacked up against my 1 unit at the, as you're looking at it at the left. And he's not attacking anywhere else, which is not the plan. He's not cooperating. So, yeah, he's only attacking in 1 place. So I'm going to send some people forward and try to get him to attack 2nd Division and 3rd Division again. But look, he has units still screaming over to the left. Which is really kind of weird, because there actually is a victory location for him to take, and he's not advancing toward that at all. You can see the victory location on the right of the map. I did get his units to charge. That's what I wanted. I wanted his units to charge right into there. That's perfect. He has 2 infantry to the south. I think I killed his artillery. And I have like 6 infantry and 6 artillery that are just going to roll over that guy. Yeah, he's still charging him, but his units look a little more fragile on the Confederate left, and I'd like to lure him forward into the water. I want to back up a little bit, and hopefully he'll advance into the clearing. But he still has, it's like most of his army is over on the left side. So yeah, he's attacking in 2nd Division, taking a hit, and I'm having my units, as you can see here on my left, I'm just going to advance my units in the woods in good cover and exchange some shots with these guys, roll up the artillery, and do damage. Here's the key to advancing, I think, in I mean, there are going to be just a handful of people hear this, but I think this is the key to advancing on Legendary. I mean, it works on any level of difficulty, but particularly Legendary. Don't advance faster than your artillery. If you want to keep your losses down and get a high kill ratio, don't advance your infantry faster than the artillery. The infantry is much faster than the artillery, but when you get out of canister range of your supporting guns, you're just exchanging shots with 3-star infantry and you are going to lose. And the enemy has stay in cover as much as possible to keep your losses down, and when you advance, have artillery right on the tail, your 24-pound howitzers right on the tail of your infantry, and don't let your infantry get out of supporting fire range. Now, your 20-pound Parrots are great for advancing because they give exploding shell range that is pretty good range. So you can advance as far as you have 20-pound Parrots. So before I advance, I would want to advance my 20-pound Parrots and 24-pound howitzers as close to the line as possible, and then advance the infantry, but no further than exploding shell range of the 20-pound Parrots. Stop, roll up the 24-pound howitzers, roll up the 20-pound Parrots. It's a slow, calculated advance. If you advance with infantry without artillery support, your losses are just going to go way up. And if you advance in the open against the enemy who has Fayettevilles and CS Richmonds, which is what the enemy's going to have by this part of the campaign, you're just going to take huge losses. So, yeah, I think that's the secret. I have the 24-pound howitzers a bit back at this point so that my infantry units can retreat when the enemy charges into melee. As you know, that's what you do. When the enemy charges, you fall your infantry back a little bit, and that the enemy will charge right into canister range. But when you go on the offensive, when the enemy is not as aggressive, then you move the 24-pound howitzers closer to the front line. Like right now, his units are really weak. They're going to start to shatter. And yeah, so we're in really good shape. I have one unit that's that's getting low on ammo, so I move the ammo wagon further to the north. My commander is in the right place, giving cover bonus. I have slowly, because it takes a time, moved my infantry into the woods. Now I've moved the 24-pound howitzers up, and I'm going to I have 3 24-pound howitzers in the woods, and they're just going to weaken the enemy. So we're not even to 9 o'clock yet, and you can notice that the enemy units are just really much smaller. And yet, here's a guy who is attacking really aggressively. These are 3-star units, and this is Legendary, so you know, there are going to be outbreaks of that. But I'm looking at his numbers. Like his unit there that just took a bunch of hits is only at like 750. Okay. So the guy who charged into the woods is going back, he's about 1100. And yeah, this guy that's kind of out of the woods, he's going to have pretty good cover, but he's only about 800. So his army's getting weaker, and I've been seeing some of his units down about 400, 500. So yeah. Now he's shifting his army to the south to defend the victory location, because my infantry is closing in on his victory location. That's what I would expect. I have finally gotten my dismounted cav. Well, I mounted them up and I sent them around the flank, his left flank instead of his right. I really wanted them to go originally around the other flank, but now they're just, they're just out of place. So I have these guys, they're in a great position to do a lot of harm to the enemy. I have a dismounted skirmisher that's been giving, his job was to just give spotting. Yeah, he just charged in with a tiny unit that just got hammered and shattered. That's where we are. I mean, this isn't over. He's still deadly, and he still has most of his artillery. But I can start to pick him apart, and I want to get visibility on his artillery units and start to I still have, what is it, 7 or 8 20-pound Parrott units. So I want to find his artillery and start to kill them at range. And there, I see one to the north because my your cav has the best spotting ability. So, you know, their job is always spotting more than fighting, in my mind. And I can start getting shots on his artillery that I can see. He wants to charge that detached skirmisher, and I'm just going to hit him in the back with a with my cav unit dismounted, so he's going to do double damage. And his cav unit is gone. So now his tiny artillery unit, which must be the same one I was picking on earlier, 2 20-pound Parrots are going to hit him, and 2 cav units, dismounted cav, and a detached skirmisher. We should be able to kill him too. He still has a bunch more, but so he has one tiny unit defending the victory location. What I'd really rather have him do is attack right where he is right now in the center. That's what I want to see. That's what I was hoping he would do more of. All those 24-pound howitzers there, and they just don't get the kills that I really wanted him to get. Because he just didn't do anything. And my, what is it, it's 1st Corps, 4th Division, just didn't participate in the battle. 3rd didn't do very much, and 4th didn't really do anything. So they're almost completely fresh. So what I would have preferred that he do is attack everybody else as much as he attacked 1st Division, and give my 24-pound howitzers a whole bunch more kills, basically. So I'm editing out where I just give a whole bunch of instructions. I have a lot of artillery, so I do a lot of shift fire. I see one of his artillery units becomes visible, so a whole bunch of guys are now taking shots at him. He won't last very long. But we're only at 9:30 a.m. I mean, this is a whole bunch of death and destruction really fast. So I'm very happy to see him attack toward the victory location. He's going to attack right in... That's a really good kill ground. He'll come out of the woods into that very low terrain, and there's water there, and that is absolutely a perfect kill zone. So I want to advance 2nd Division, and I'm going to put one of my units toe-to-toe with one of his units, and just exchange shots, one unit to one unit, for a little bit. It gives me visibility, my guy's in okay cover. I think I lose this exchange, though, but it gives the rest of my army a chance to come up and to move my artillery up, draw his units into battle, and yeah, so right now I just want to move everybody up and advance my artillery. I can sense that his army's right on the verge of breaking, and so I'm just going after him. And this is where recon is really nice to have. So he's actually moving his infantry units into battle, into 2nd Division. I can see his units moving forward to support the attack on 2nd Division. I've taken the flag, but that's not interesting. His units are very tiny, and my units have great cover. And let's see, it must be 1, 2, 3, 4 divisions are over there with lots of artillery, and it's just they're just going to slowly walk across the battlefield and kill everything in their path. So I don't want 2nd Division to attack too soon. I'm kind of waiting until the artillery gets moved up, and one of my units actually is flashing white. So, and now routing. So my unit actually lost that exchange. I guess I went in there with about 1,400. So he lost about 300, but he did draw in everybody forward into the line of battle. And so now I have my guns in position, and I'm attacking with 1st Division. 2nd Division is doing okay. Have them just hold the line, and I can advance with 3rd, 4th Division, and then 1st and 2nd Division of 2nd Corps is continuing their advance. So I have a bunch of 20-pound Parrots that have good range, and we're going to pick apart his artillery unit. I want to really damage that artillery unit before my infantry gets close. His infantry, that is, yeah, I checked the numbers. His numbers keep shrinking. I want to attack where he doesn't have artillery and keep my artillery right on the tail end of my infantry. So as long as my infantry is in good cover, they won't take a whole bunch of casualties. And now I can see 3 of his batteries. He has more, but I can see 3. And I want my Cav to come in and take shots on him. He doesn't have any ammo in those supply wagons. He's out. One of his units in the woods surrenders and then recovers. That's too bad. We still capture a whole bunch. I mean, we capture a lot of guys in this battle. He attacks, but that's, you know, crazy. So I just charge him back. He's down to 700 and surrenders. He's completely surrounded. He was taking fire from several directions and he was isolated. And all of his units are pretty fragile. So yeah, that little unit of 400, he's just, you know, shatters. He has no chance. He's attacking in the open with a unit of 800. And I now have units stacked up to charge, because I'd love to get a 2-to-1 charge bonus against him in the open. And I'm certainly able to do that. I have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 infantry stacked up against this routing unit. And I want to charge him, but he I don't know, it's like he sees my unit charge and he just surrenders, so. The units on the Union left are now in good cover, but I'm pretty sure I can get into the woods behind him and get my Cav up. I mean, he's just got, he had 2 infantry against 2nd Division, 1 shattered, the other one's down to under 500, and he's going to die. I can catch his 3 artillery units. I can see 4 artillery units. Those guys are going to rout right away. I can now see all his artillery. He gets 1 shot off, which is not good, but now I have all kinds of artillery just closing in on him, and all I have to do is morale shock his artillery, and this is over. I mean, I can see the red bar is, there's nothing left. He just has this hidden artillery in the woods. He has 1 infantry unit that's a serious concern, but all the rest of these guys are, you know, his artillery is hopeless against this close-range infantry. He had another infantry unit surrender. This 800-man infantry unit, or whatever it is, where did he go? I know he has, yeah, there he goes. He has 1 unit of 800. I remember that guy was still there. I should have just charged him. Should have just charged him with infantry. I need to keep everybody just moving forward now and keep his artillery routing and morale shocked, and this is just over. Yeah, the neat thing about artillery is I don't care what direction it retreats in, it's going to die. Whatever he bumps into is going to kill it. His unit that's 700 infantry, that guy can still fight. I just need him to not get away. But the artillery can't fight. The artillery is doomed. So yeah, I don't want to see blocked. I want to see you keep moving forward, get into melee with his artillery and kill it. Yeah, this is his last unit. I want to kill him before he gets away. Everybody hit this guy. And he's captured 530. Okay, so we lost about 4,000, just over 4,000. He loses, what is it? He loses 32,000, I think. So my infantry that did, what, 70% of the fighting took some losses. Some of the other guys didn't do very much fighting at all. Some guys did really well. I had these 24-pound howitzers that didn't do very much. Lieutenant General Legendary got wounded, so your avatar in the army can get wounded. That's good to know. I've always wondered that. So as a division commander, he got wounded. Very good officer. Hate to lose him. Over $400,000. I have over 100 10-pound parrots in inventory I need to do something with. Okay, I just wanted to change that very quickly so that I could see the condition of my army. The cav units, I now have 3 cav units. Actually, with a better officer, that guy goes to 2 stars. That's very good. I want to use my cav for spotting in future battles, and I now have 3 cav units with 2 stars, so that's great. Very happy to have that. He went up in all 3, his army size and everything, and training went up. And yeah, so very good battle, very happy to play this way. And I really enjoyed it. It was fast and it was bloody. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one.